right? Financial statements of a sole trader business. So basically there are two statements we are going to discuss, right? The first one, profit or loss statement. Second statement we are going to discuss, statement of financial position, right? Profit or loss statement and statement of financial position, right? So let's see what are the main objectives of these statements separately, right? So I have given the objective. First one, look at the first one, profit or loss statement. To ascertain the operational result. That means whether the business has earned adequate profit or not, right? So what is the profit of the business? Simply profit means income minus expenses, right? What are the incomes of the business and what are the expenses? So by comparing, we can calculate the operational result. We call it as operational result. Okay, so the basic purpose of preparing profit or loss statement is to ascertain the operational result, right? So we'll see. Second one, statement of financial position, right? So what is the objective? To identify financial position for a given accounting period. Financial position in the sense assets, liability and equity, right? The financial position means what is the total assets of the business, what is the total liability of the business, and what is the total equity of the business. Simply, right? So the basic objective you should know, the preparation of profit or loss statement is to ascertain the operational result. That means calculating the profit or loss. Second one, to identify the financial position for a given accounting period, for a given certain time of period, right? So first we'll see how to prepare the profit or loss statement, right? Before we prepare the profit or loss statement, we have to identify, we have to understand some basic terms are there, some basic concepts are there. So we are going to identify those things. After that only we can prepare the statement, right? First we have to identify what is the content. Content separately we have to discuss, then only we can prepare the statement, right? So we'll see the first part, profit or loss statement. Right? We can call this as income statement also, but in your syllabus, they have given the name profit or loss statement, right? In A-levels, we are using the word income statement as well. Same thing, right? But don't use that word. You better to use profit or loss statement, right? Keep in mind, we can call this as income statement as well, right? Right. Profit or loss statement is prepared by a business organization to calculate the profit or loss earned during a particular accounting period. Right? We have already discussed. Earlier, I told you that is operational result. See, here I have given the word calculate the profit or loss. Same thing. Right? Operational result means profit or loss. Okay. So, basic objective of the profit or loss statement is calculate the profit or loss. Right? Calculation of profit or loss of a business is performed in two steps. What are the two steps? Calculation of gross profit and calculation of net profit, right? So, according to this lesson, we have to discuss two statements, profit or loss statements and statement of financial position. First, we select to discuss about profit or loss statement. Under that, it includes two basic steps, right? That is first one, calculation of gross profit. Second one, calculation of net profit, right? So we'll see how to calculate net gross profit first. Gross, right? So word in the sense we can understand that gross means uh, that is not the final result, right? Gross. Look at the formula I have given. Gross profit equals sales revenue. Sales revenue means simply sales, right? Sales revenue minus cost of sales. Cost of sales, new concept for you, right? Sales revenue minus cost of sales. So we'll see how to calculate. You know that sales revenue, right? Sales revenue, sometimes directly you may receive. Sales revenue equals cash sales plus credit sales, right? Simple. Cash sales plus credit sales. Then the thing is, you should know how to calculate the cost of sales. We'll see how to calculate cost of sales. Here I have given how to calculate cost of sales. Look at this. Look at the method I have given. Carefully look at the method. How to calculate cost of sales, right? Cost of sales. Sales, the cost of the sales, right? Simply sales will cost, right? So we'll see how to calculate. We can't take the total purchase as the cost of sales because we can't sell the total purchase during the particular time period, right? And also there can be closing stock. That means we can't sell the total purchase during the particular time period, right? There can be closing stock. So we have to deduct. And also we can't ignore the opening stock. First we have to sell the opening stock. Then only this year purchase, current year purchase, right? Otherwise the opening stock will be expired. So definitely opening stock should be included in cost of sales, right? So we have to add. Other than that, there are some purchase related expenses. Purchase related expenses. Okay, we'll see one by one. First, I told you opening stock we can't ignore because opening stock, first we have to sell, right? Before we sell the current year purchase, definitely we have to sell the opening stock. So because of that, we have to add the opening stock, right? Opening stock. Then for that, you have to add purchases. Add purchases, right? For that, purchases should be added, right? Not only that, I told you some purchase related expenses should be added. Purchase related expenses, right? Keep in mind these terms carefully. Purchase related expenses. Those are, I have given two because in your syllabus, only two items here, right? These are carriage inward expenses and loading expenses, right? Carriage inward and loading expenses. I will explain these two separately, okay? Carriage inward in the sense, purchase related, the transportation cost of the purchases. Transportation cost of the purchases, carriage inwards, right? Loading expenses, loading and unloading, both we can take. Loading expenses in the sense, the expenses which we need to bear, which we need to spend on behalf of the load the stock. Load and unload, right? To transport, before we transport the particular goods, we have to load them into the separate transportation medium, right? That expense should be added. Carriage inwards and loading expenses, right? For that purpose, we have to spend money on behalf of the labor. All those loading expenses and carriage inward expenses should be added to the purchases. So not only the purchases, purchase related expenses should be added, right? Those are carriage inwards and loading expenses. So keep in mind, only two purchase related expenses will come, carriage inwards and loading expenses, right? Then the value of goods presented for sale will be the answer. When you add opening stock plus purchases, for that if you add two purchase related expenses, your answer will be the value of goods presented for sale. We can use another term for this. Value of goods presented for sale. Instead of this, we can use, what is the term we can use? What is the term we can use? Yes, very good. Cost of goods to be sold. Same mean, right? You can write cost of goods to be sold. If this is not familiar with you, you can use cost of goods to be sold, right? Instead of value of goods presented for sale, you can use cost of goods to be sold. Cost of goods to be sold. Right? Instead of value of goods presented for sale, you can use this. Right. So now our answer is cost of goods to be sold. Right? The cost of the goods to be sold. Right? That means the cost of goods ready to be sold. But we need the answer for the cost of sale. So from this answer, from this cost of goods to be sold, we have to deduct closing stock, right? Because at the beginning I told you, closing stock means the stock which remains unsold, right? Which remains unsold. So we can't add that cost into the cost of sales because we didn't sell that particular stock. So definitely we have to remove the closing stock. So closing stock should be removed, less closing stock. Less closing stock, then we can come up with the answer for the cost of sales, right? Very simple, the calculation of cost of sales. Opening stock plus purchase and purchase related expense. The answer we called as cost of goods to be sold. From that, definitely you have to deduct closing stock. Then the answer is equals to cost of sales. Cost of sales, right? Okay, we'll do some calculations. So it's easy to understand. Okay, let's do the first question. I have given you the tune. Okay, let's do this question quickly. The following information is given to you from the business of Dihas for the accounting period ended 31st March 2022. I have given some information: purchases, sales, loading expense, carriage inward expense. 2021 April 1st opening stock, that means opening. I have given both, right? 31st 3rd 2022, that means closing stock 70,000. Opening and closing stock given, purchase and sales given, purchase related expenses given. So simply you can calculate cost of sales, then you can calculate the gross profit, right? I'll help you to do this. The next question you can do it from your own. Okay. Right, let's do. When you calculate, you have to write the titles, right? Don't just take the answer. Always, I ask you to write in detail, right? Always you have to write the titles. Don't write just answer, right? This is applicable for all the questions, not only for this, right? Okay, first one, you have to calculate the opening cost of sales. So first you have to take opening stock. Opening stock. Write the title opening stock. The value is 30,000. Then for this, you have to add purchases. Purchases value should be 350,000. Then you have to add purchase related expenses. First one, loading expenses. The value is 12,500. Loading expenses and carriage inwards you have to add. Carriage inwards Carriage inwards value is 7,500. Those who can do this from your own, you can do, right? For others only I'm doing this. So I told you opening stock plus purchase related expenses. There are two, loading expense and carriage inwards. We call it as cost of goods to be sold. Cost of goods to be sold. Cost of goods to be sold, right? Right. So the answer is the summation of these four figures. Here 20, 350 plus 2370 and 400,000. Did you get this answer? Cost of goods to be sold is 400,000. Right? But we need the answer for the cost of sales. Cost of goods to be sold is 400,000. We need answer for the cost of sales. So we'll see how to take cost of sales. I told you from this, if you deduct closing stock, then you can take the answer for the cost of sales, right? So let's deduct closing stock from this. Closing stock. Value of the closing stock given as 70,000. You have to deduct, right? So to indicate that, better to put brackets. 400,000 minus 70,000. Cost of sales is 330,000. Cost of sales 330,000. Right? So this is the answer for the cost of sales. That is the first part. Right? In this question, there are two questions. We have to calculate cost of sales and also we have to calculate the gross profit. Right? So already we have calculated, this is the question, we have already calculated cost of sales. Now we need to calculate the gross profit. It's easy, right? Because we know the formula to calculate gross profit. Gross profit equals, I have to already given you, this is the formula. Gross profit equals sales revenue minus cost of sales. So directly they have given sales, that is 530,000. From that, if you deduct cost of sales, the answer is simply gross profit, right? So we'll write the answer for the second part. Those who can do this can do it your own, right? You can write the formula. Always you have to write the formulas, right? Gross profit equals sales minus cost of sales. Sales value given as 530,000. 530,000 minus cost of sales is 330,000. Already we have calculated. Then you can write the answer for the, you can take the answer for the gross profit. That is 200,000. Simple. Sales minus cost of sales. This should be cost. Sales minus cost of sales. Sales value given as 530,000. Cost of sales value given as 330,000. So 530,000 minus 330,000. Gross profit equal 200,000. Right? If you have any doubts up to now, you can ask. Others can do the second question from your own. I have given another question. You can do the question from your own. There are small change I have given, right? Purchase earlier, purchase single value. I have given earlier purchase as a single value, but here there are two values, cash purchase and credit purchase. So you have to add, right? Very simple. Total purchase equals cash purchase plus credit purchase. No. Total sales equals cash sales plus credit sales. So simply you have to add, right? Do it from your own. Others can ask. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Those who already completed, please send me your answers. Look at the second question. Following information is given to you from the business of Patroon for the accounting period ended 31st March 2022. Cash purchase, credit purchase separately given. So you have to add. Simple. Sales and credit sales and cash sales separately given. You have to add. Loading expense given, carriage units given, and same as earlier, opening stock and closing stock given. Right. So first you have to calculate the opening stock. Sorry, cost of sales. To calculate cost of sales, you should take opening stock first. Opening stock value 50,000. For that, you have to add purchases. Purchases value, total purchases you have to take. Opening stock 50,000 purchases 210 plus 150. You have to take 260, 360. Purchases total, right? Don't need to write both figures separately. Don't need to write it separately. You can write it as a single figure as purchase and can write the total value, right? For this, you have to add loading expenses and carriage inwards. These two purchase related expenses should be added. So now we know the answer. We can call this as cost of goods to be sold, right? The summation of these four figures, we can call it as cost of goods to be sold. So here total we can take purchase related expenses 12,500 and 7,500, altogether 20,000, 380 plus 430,000. Cost of goods to be sold 430,000 is the total. Right, but we need to calculate the closing cost of sales. So you have to deduct closing stock. So, right, this is the answer for the second question. To calculate the cost of sales, first we have to calculate the cost of sales, opening stock plus purchase, then purchase related expenses. Here also there are two, loading expenses and carriage inwards, 12,500 and 7,500. Cost of goods to be sold, we can come up with the answer 430,000. That means summation of first four figures. Then we have to deduct closing stock to calculate the cost of sales, because closing stock means the stock which remains unsold. We have to deduct that. We call it as cost of sales. When we deduct closing stock from the cost of goods to be sold, we can come up with the answer for the cost of sales. Cost of sales here 345,000, right? We need to calculate gross profit also. To calculate gross profit, we'll write the formula. Gross profit equals, now you know this, right? Gross profit equals sales minus cost of sales. Sales value, total sales. Here sales given as two figures, cash sales and credit sales. Look at this, cash sales and credit sales separately given, right? But you can add and take it as a single figure. 450 plus 200,000, altogether 650,000 is the sale, right? Minus cost of sales, we have already calculated 345,000. So 650,000 minus 345,000 is the answer for the gross profit. That is 305,000. 305,000 is the answer for the gross profit. This is the final answer for the gross profit and cost of sales for the second question. These are the answers. Cost of sales is 345,000. Gross profit is 305,000. Right. Good. Some of you already sent me the answer. Very good. If you have any doubts up to this, can ask. Right. Let's summarize what we have already discussed here up to now. This is financial statements of a sole trade business. We are going to prepare profit or loss statement and statement of financial position. Basically, there are two statements. First one, profit or loss statement, and second one, statement of financial position. First one, profit or loss statement, the main objective is to calculate the operational result. Operational result in the sense, simply to calculate the profit or loss, right, earned during a particular time period. So calculation of gross profit, first we have to study. Now we are studying about calculation of gross profit. Gross profit equals sales minus cost of sales. The calculation of cost of sales, opening stock plus purchase, and there are two purchase related expenses. We call it as cost of goods to be sold. From that, if you deduct closing stock, we call it as cost of sales. So we did two calculations related to cost of sales and gross profit, right? Those who need more time to complete this, I can give. Right, let's move to the other part. I told you at the beginning, the preparation of profit or loss statement contains two steps. First step we have already finished. The second stage is calculation of net profit, right? Net profit. Calculation of gross profit already we have finished. So this is calculation of net profit. Look at this. I have given the formula first. So you can take the basic understanding about the net profit. Net profit equals gross profit plus other income minus expenses. Gross profit, how to calculate gross profit? You already know, right? Sales minus cost of sales. Very simple. Sales minus cost of sales. The calculation of cost of sales, we did two calculations, right? So gross profit plus other income minus expenses. Minus expenses equals net profit. So we'll see what are the other incomes and what are the expenses, right? Separately, we are going to study about other income and expenses in this lesson, right? Because we already know the concept of gross profit, right? So we need to calculate the net profit. Net profit means gross profit plus other income minus expenses. We are going to learn how to identify other incomes and expenses, right? So look at this other income. Already we know how to define income, right? Simply income means increase of equity except due to capital introduced by the owner. Increase of equity except due to capital introduced by the owner, right? Income. But here the word given as other income. Other income. Look at this. Other income means in a business, the main income is sales, right? Main income of the business is sales. Other than sales, all the other income, we call it as other income, right? All the other methods of income, we call it as other income, right? Other than the sales. Sales is the basic main source of income. Other than sales, all the other method of income, we call it as other income. So we'll see what are they. Look at the statement I have given here. Increase in equity other than the introduction of capital by owners is known as income. Simple, right? Increase in equity other than the introduction of capital by owners is known as income. All the other income earned, excluding sales, other than the sales, all the other income earned, we call it as other income, right? So we'll write some examples. You have already know. We'll write the examples, other income. For other incomes, let's write some examples. First one, we can write rent income, right? We can write rent income. Second, we can write dividend income. Rent income, you know, right? If you have additional building, if you have additional motor vehicle, you can rent for external party and you can earn income. That is rent income, right? Dividend income means if you have extra money, if you have some amount of money, you can invest it in another company shares, right? You can purchase another company shares. So the return of the shares is the dividend income. We call it as dividend income, right? Another one you can write commission income. If your business acts as an agent of any mother company, you can earn commission income, right? Commission income. Rent income, dividend income, commission income. The next one we can write discount received. Discount received. I'm giving examples for other income. Discount received. Interest received. That means if you invest your money in a fixed deposit or otherwise if you deposit money in a savings account, you can earn interest income. Interest received or interest income. Interest received or interest income. Both are correct, right? And also we can call it as investment income. For dividend income and interest income, as a common word, we can write investment income. Because dividend shares and fixed deposit are different types of investments. Their returns, we can call it as investment income, simply, right? Rent income, dividend income, commission income, discount received, interest income, and investment income. If I miss any method of income, let me know. Any additional other income? Yes, you can copy down. You can complete your note, right? Other income, increase in equity other than introduction of capital by owners is known as income. Increase in equity. Due to income, we know equity will increase, right? But in addition to the capital introduction by the owner, capital introduced by the owner, we call it as income, right? The main income of the business is sales. Other than sales, excluding sales, all the other method of income, we call them as other income. Examples are rent income, dividend income, commission income, discount received, and interest income and investment income. Please write down. Right, next on expenses. Look at this. Expenses are 4 types. Basically, expenses can be divided into 4 types. Distribution, administration, other, and financial. Right, same as income. Main income of the business is sales. Main expense of the business is cost of sales or purchase. Right. Main income is sales, main expense is cost of sales. Other than the main expense purchase, there can be some other expenses. We can classify them into 4 categories: distribution, administration, other, and financial, right? Let's do small activity to classify these expenses, because you have some rough idea about these expenses, right? So let's do a small activity to classify these expenses, right? So I can send you a link to the chat box. By using that link, you can enter the different types of expenses. Okay? You'll see. Right now, I have sent you a Padlet link. Please go through that link and enter the expenses. Different types of expenses you can enter: administration expense, distribution expense, and the third one I'm going to name as other expenses. And another one I'm going to create as financial expenses. Right. Now you can add. For the administration expenses, add the expenses what you know under the administration. Distribution expenses, the expenses which are related to the sales and distribution, right? I'll explain after that. Administration means the expenses which are related to the administration purpose, right? Which are related to the office administration, office related expenses, administration related expenses, general expenses, we call them as administration. Distribution means the expenses which are related to sales and distribution purpose, right? Which are generated as a result of selling activities, as a result of general selling activities and distribution activities, right? Just think and add. Other expenses, the financial expenses in the sense, the expenses which are related to methods of financing. As example, the expenses which are related to bank loan and bank current account. Simple, right? So you can easily identify the financial expenses. The expenses which are related to bank loan and bank current account. Simple, right? You can add. You know what are the related expense for the bank loan and what are the related expense for bank current account. Yes, bank loan related expense already someone has added. What are the other? There are another 3 related expenses for bank current account. Try to add. Yes, bank charges, correct. Another 2. Already you have added under the administration expenses, rent and rates, electricity expense, under distribution, advertising, salesperson salary, bad debts. Very good. And other expenses, cash flows. Yes, other expense in the sense, the expenses which cannot be categorized under administration, distribution, and financial, we can call it as other. I delete the duplicate, so don't worry, you can enter, right? One duplicate hours I can remove, so you can enter. Yes, very good. Administration, rent and rates, electricity, water bill, telephone bill, machine maintenance, and depreciation. Good. Better to enter separately. Don't enter as a whole. Distribution, advertising, salesperson salary, bad debts, discount allowed, sales commission. Yes, good. What else? You can enter. Yes, building repair charges. Very good. Financial already completed. Now, bank loan interest, bank charges, checkbook charges, interest for bank overdraft. Very good. But other expenses you can enter more. And distribution asset. There are some other examples. Right, we'll see what are the things added to the administration. I told you administration expenses means the expenses which are occurred, which are incurred as a result of office and as a result of conducting general office activities of a business, right? Administration activities of the business. So examples are, first one you have given rent and rates, correct? Electricity expense, correct? Water bill, telephone bill, machine maintenance, and depreciation means machine depreciation, correct? Depreciation for the building, yes. Depreciation, building repair charges, building repair expenses, same thing. Stationery expenses, insurance expenses, promotional expense does not comes under this, right? Promotional expense comes under distribution. Please add it under the distribution, right? Promotional means sales, related to sales. So it one comes under the administration, right? You didn't add salary and wages, right? You can add, I'll add salary and wages. If it is given just salary and wages, it comes under administration, right? If it is specifically given for salary and wages for salesperson, sales staff likewise, it comes under distribution. That's the method, right? So salary and wages comes under administration. Right. Let's move to the distribution expenses. Distribution. Advertising correct, salesperson salary correct, sales staff salary, salary paid to sales person, salary paid to workers of the sales division. Likewise, you can classify it under distribution. Bad debts, yes, bad debts means unrecoverable debt, right? The debt which cannot be recovered. And discount allowed is a distribution, sales related expense, sales commission is a sales and distribution related expense. Depreciation of delivery vehicle, good. Depreciation of motor vehicle, depreciation of delivery vehicle. That motor vehicle and delivery vehicle related expenses comes under distribution, right? Delivery vehicle depreciation, yes, same thing. I'll delete the duplicate. Promotional expenses comes under distribution. Sales, personal, promotional expenses. Sales, personal, promotional expenses. Yeah, sales, staff, promotional expenses can take. Right. So those are the expenses related to distribution expenses, right? You have already added. Advertising, salesperson salary, bad debt, discount allowed, sales commission, depreciation of vehicle delivery, delivery vehicle, promotional expenses. Right. Let's move to the other expenses. I told you the expenses which cannot be categorized under any other category. I mean, administration, distribution, and financial, we can classify under other expenses, right? Those are cash costs, losses from fire, giving donations, yes. stock donations or cash donations, and stock loss. Stock loss, stock damages, both are correct, right? So those things comes under other expenses. Very good. Right. Last one you have added, find the financial expenses, bank loan interest, bank charges, checkbook charges, interest for bank overdraft. Right. Very good. I told you it's very easy to identify financial expenses, right? Financial expenses in your level, right? For the ordinary level method, financial expenses are the expenses which are related to bank loan and bank current account. Very simple, right? Only for ordinary level method. I'm talking about ordinary level method. Only expenses which are related to bank loan and bank current account comes under financial. Very simple, right? Bank loan related expense means bank loan interest. Bank current account related expenses are three expenses: bank charges, checkbook charges, and interest for bank overdraft. Right? That's all. Okay, very good. Let's move to the activity in the tute. Go through the activity I have given in the tute. Look at this. You have to categorize, right? Categorize the following expenses. Categorize the following expenses for the above categories of expenses by using tabular format. So this type of table you have to use for this activity. Please draw this in your writing book and do this. There should be for 4 columns table you have to take, right? First column you should have to name as administration expenses. Second column you can name as distribution expenses. Third column now you can name as financial expenses. Last column you can name as other expenses. Right. I'll give you 2-3 minutes. Quickly do this. You have to classify, right? If it is I'll do one for you. Look at this. First one, advertising. It comes under distribution. Now you know, right? Advertising means the expense which related to sales and distribution. So definitely it comes under distribution. Likewise, you can do, right? Promotional again comes under distribution. Likewise, you can do. Quickly do this. I'll give you 2 minutes. Right? We can do this. Salaries to salesperson. I told you if it is specifically mentioned that salaries to sales employees, sales personnel, salaries to sales division staff, likewise, it comes under distribution expenses, right? Otherwise, generally, salaries and wages means simply it comes under administration expenses, right? Next one, bad debts. Bad debts also comes under distribution expenses. Rent and rates comes under administration expenses. Insurance payments, that is general administration, general office expense. So and comes under administration expenses. Stationery expense also general administration purpose expense. So it comes under administration. Losses from cash frauds, we can't classify it into any other category. So it comes under other expenses. Losses from fire also same. Can't classify it under any other category. So we have to classify it under other. Depreciation for building. Building means general administration purpose. So depreciation also comes under administration. Next one, building repair expenses. Building related expenses comes under administration. Electricity expense, again, administration purpose, general administration purpose. Electricity expense comes under administration. Interest for bank loans. I told you interest for bank loans, that is financial, because I told you the expenses which are related to bank loan and bank current account totally comes under financial. It's easy, right? Interest for bank loans comes under financial. Depreciation for office equipment. Office equipment comes under administration purpose. So, next one, discount given. Discount given means comes under distribution, sales and distribution expense, discount given. Depreciation of delivery vehicle. I told you the expenses which are related to delivery vehicle comes under delivery vehicle expenses comes under distribution expenses, right? Because delivery vehicles we are using for the purpose of distribution, right? On that basis, all the expenses which are related to delivery vehicles comes under distribution. And next on sales commission expenses. Sales commission means directly it comes under distribution expenses. Sales commission directly comes under distribution expenses. Right. Sales commission expense, sales commission expenses comes under distribution expenses. And interest for overdraft facilities, interest for OD, right? Simply we can call it as interest for OD. It comes under financial expenses. Bank charges comes under financial. I told you how to identify the financial expenses easily. The method is all the expenses which are related to bank loan and bank current account, we call it as financial expenses, right? Machine maintenance expenses. Machine maintenance expenses. The expenses which are related to all the other non-current assets, I mean building, machine, office equipment, all are comes under administration. Furniture, all the expenses comes under administration. Furniture depreciation. Furniture depreciation comes under administration purpose. Furniture depreciation. And the next one, water bill and telephone bill also comes under administration because those are general administration purpose expenses, right? Water bill and the last one, I think electricity bill, right? Yes, telephone bill. That also comes under administration. Please check your answer. Last one, telephone bill. Right? So this is the classification of expenses. Look at the administration expenses column again. I told you administration expenses means the expenses which are related to general administration purpose. General office expenses, we call them as administration expenses. stationery, rent and rates, insurance, depreciation for building, building repair expenses, electricity expenses, depreciation for office equipment, machine maintenance expense, furniture depreciation, water bill, telephone bill comes under administration. Under distribution, I told you the expenses which are related to sales and distribution purpose. Which are related to sales activities, which are related to distribution activities, we call them as simply distribution expenses. Examples are advertising, promotional expenses, salaries to sales employees, bad debts, discount given, depreciation of delivery vehicle and sales commission expenses. Financial expenses are, I told you, very easy method to identify financial expenses. The expenses which are related to bank loan and bank current account. Interest for bank loan, interest for overdraft facilities and bank charges, right? Then other expenses, if we, when there are some expenses, we can't classify directly to the administration, distribution and financial, we can classify it under other. Only two examples here, losses from cash frauds and losses from fire. Other than that, we can take stock donations and stock losses, stock damages. Those things also comes under other expenses, right? Right. Let's do the third question. Up to now, we have already calculated gross profit, and now we are going to calculate the net profit, right? Now we know the concept of gross profit and net profit, but we have already finished the calculations related to gross profit. Gross profit means sales minus cost of sales, right? So how to calculate cost of sales, how to find out the gross profit, I have already explained. Now we are going to calculate net profit, right? Before we can't directly calculate that. Before that, we have to calculate cost of sales, after that gross profit, then other income, distribution expense, administration, financial, other. At last only you can come up with the answer for the net profit, right? Please take time and do this. I'll give you 15 minutes time. 11:15 I'm going to discuss this. Try to do this. When you do this, please write the titles, right? As example, you have to write distribution expense. Then under that, what are the expenses comes under? Then only total, right? Please take time and do this. I'll give you 15 minutes. After that, I'm going to discuss this at 11:15. Right. First, you have to calculate cost of sales. Right now, we know the method of calculating cost of sales. Cost of sales, you have to calculate opening stock plus purchase, plus purchase related expenses, and you can come up with the answer for the cost of goods to be sold. From that, you have to deduct closing stock. Then only we can take the answer for the cost of sales, right? So first you have to take opening stock. Opening stock, rupees 40,000. Purchases rupees 280,000. 280,000 plus purchase related expenses, carriage inwards and loading and unloading charges. Carriage inwards 16,000. Loading and unloading charges, that means loading charges, simply we can say loading charges. Loading charges 25,000. So we can take answer for the cost of goods to be sold. Cost of goods to be sold, or otherwise cost of goods presented for sale. Right? Any term we can use. Right, now we can take the answer for the summation of these four figures. Opening stock, purchases, carriage in works, and loading expenses. Summation of these four answers, we can call it as cost of goods to be sold. So answer for these. Answer for these four, 280, 300, 325. Right? 325,000. From this, you have to deduct closing stock. Oh, sorry. Opening stock 40,000. Thank you. Yes. Mistake. Right? Opening stock 40,000. Yes. Opening stock 40,000. Purchase 280. Carriage inward 16. Loading charges 25. Right? I think other things okay. So what is the total of these four figures? 40 plus 280 plus 16 plus 25. 361. 361,000. Right? So from this answer, you have to deduct closing stock. Closing stock value is 55,000. To indicate minus, you can put within brackets. Then we can call this answer as cost of sales. Yes. This answer we can call it as cost of sales. $361,000 minus 55, 306. 306,000 is the answer for the cost of sales. Now we have calculated the answer for the first term, 306,000. Right? Cost of sales. Then second part we can easily do, that is gross profit. Right? That is gross profit. When you write answer for this type of question, you have to write the titles and write the answer, right? Don't just take the direct answer and don't write. Definitely you have to write like this. In detail you have to write. Okay? So the second part we are going to calculate, that is gross profit. It's very easy. Gross profit equals sales minus cost of sales. Sales minus cost of sales. Sales value equals sales value equals 480,000. 480,000 minus cost of sales means 306,000. 480 minus 306,000 is the gross profit. So you can take answer for the gross profit. 480 minus 306, that means 174,000. 174,000. Yes. Right. Now we have already calculate answers for the first two parts. Next, we are going to calculate answer for the third part, that is other income. We are going to calculate other income. I have already explained you other income means the income except sales. The income, the total income except sales, we can call it as other income, right? Other than sales, there are different types of incomes. Rent income, dividend income, commission income, discount received, interest income, investment income. All those incomes, we call it as other income. right? So we'll see what are the other incomes given under this example. Here, stock, no need, sales, purchase, salaries, no interest paid, carriage inwards, rent income, 1. And discount received. There are 2. I have already found 2, rent income and discount received. So you can mention these 2 incomes under the other income. Like this. Rent income 50,000, discount received 24,000. Then again go through the question and see any other income available. Loading and unloading, no. Bank charges expense, donation expense, rent and rate, no. Bad debt, depreciation of motor vehicle, stock loss, no. Dividend income, another one is there. So you can take that dividend income, rupees 32,000. After these 2, you can mention that dividend income 32,000. Right now, you can take the total for the other income. Altogether, there are 3 other income given. 50,000, 24,000 and 32,000. If you take the total, you can calculate the total of other income. Total of other incomes, right? That is rupees 86,000. No, sorry. 50, 20, 106,000. 106,000. Right? The total of other income means 106,000. Right. Now we have already calculated answer for the cost of sales, gross profit and other income. 106,000. Right? Any doubts up to this? Okay, we can move to the second part. Not second part. We have already finished third part. Now we can move to the fourth part. That is distribution expenses. Right? So here we can calculate distribution expenses. Distribution expenses we can calculate. Right. We'll see what are the distribution expenses given here. So we can directly take all the distribution expenses under the title of distribution expense. Right? Here salaries, no, it is administration expense. Interest paid comes under financial, carriage inwards, no. Rent income, no. Discount received, no. Loading and unloading can't take. Bank charges, no. That's a financial. Donation, other, rent and rate, no. Bad debt comes under distribution, and depreciation of motor vehicle also comes under distribution, right? Only that, right? Yes. Sales, purchase, salaries, interest paid, no. Carriage inwards, rent income, no. Loading, bank charges, donation, rent and rates, bad debt, depreciation of motor vehicle, only 2 distribution expenses given here. Only 2 distribution expenses. Here you can mention like this. And take the total. Bad debt 5,000, depreciation of motor vehicle 25,000. Altogether, distribution expenses 29,000. I think I missed one, right? Yes, discount allowed. At last, another one given. Discount allowed. Yes, discount allowed also comes under distribution expenses. Other than bad debt, depreciation of motor vehicle, discount allowed also comes under distribution expenses. So, total should be what? Altogether, these 3, right? 5,000, 25,000. Summation of distribution expenses, bad debt, depreciation of motor vehicle, discount allowed, and discount allowed 15,000 altogether. Right? Distribution expenses means there are three distribution expenses: bad debt, depreciation of motor vehicle, discount allowed. Right? There are three. So the summation you can take, that is 45,000. Total of distribution expense is 45,000. 25 plus 5, 30. 30 plus 45, 15, 45. Right? Okay. Then up to now what we calculated, we have already calculated cost of sales. Then by using that we calculated gross profit. After that we have calculated other income, then distribution expenses. Next one, we have to calculate administration expenses. Right? Here you can calculate it. Administration expenses. Administration expenses. Next one we are going to calculate. Next category of expenses. Administration. So we'll see what are the things comes under administration. Okay. Go through the question and see what are the administration expenses. Yes, salaries we can take as administration. Other than that, rent and rates can take, right? Only two. Donation can't take, bad debt, depreciation, motor vehicle, no, stock loss, dividend income, no. Only two things, salaries 36,000, rent and rates 15,000. Right? Only two things we can take under administration. Salaries 36 and rent and rates 15. So let's go and complete this. Rent and rates 15, salaries 36. Salaries 36,000. Then can take the total. Salaries and rent and rates only comes under administration according to this example. No any other administration items given, right? So here total is 51,000. 36 plus 15,000, 51,000. Then next one, according to the question, next one, financial expenses, right? Next one, financial expenses. Financial expenses. Under the financial expenses, we'll see what are the things comes under financial expenses according to this question. Interest paid we can take under financial. Interest paid comes under financial. We'll take it under the financial expenses. Interest paid. Next, according to the question, loading and unloading, no bank charges we can take under financial. I think only two. Bank charges also comes under financial, right? Under financial, interest paid and bank charges only two, right? So total you can take 18 plus 4, 22,000 is the total of the financial expenses. That is, it should be 24,000. You can write like this. Right, now we have already calculated three types of expenses: distribution, administration, financial. Then last one we are going to calculate, that is other expenses. Other expenses, Total of other expenses. We'll see what are the other expenses given here. We took these things, right? Sales, purchase. These things we took. I'll separate. For the purpose of to calculate gross profit, we took those things, right? Loading and unloading also we took for the purpose of calculating gross profit. And other than that, carriage inwards also we took for the purpose of calculating gross profit. Then salaries we took for the purpose of calculating administration expenses. And rent and rates also we took for the purpose of calculating other administration expenses. Then interest paid and bank charges we already took for the purpose of calculating financial expenses. Only two comes under financial. Then other income, I'll highlight in another color. Rent income, discount received, those are other income. And dividend income, dividend income also. Other income, three other incomes we have already identified, right? Then bad debt and depreciation of motor vehicle comes under distribution expenses. This one also distribution expense. Discount allowed also comes under distribution expense, right? Only two remains in black color. All the other things we have already taken to calculate the previous headings. I mean the cost of sales, other income, distribution expense, administration expense, financial expense, and other income. So another two here, donation and stock loss. These things comes under other expenses. So donation 12,000, stock loss 6,000 comes under other expenses. Donation 12,000 rupees 12,000 and stock loss 6,000. Donation 12,000, stock loss 6,000. So you can write like this. Donation 12,000 and stock loss 6,000 all together. 18,000 is the total of other expenses. Total of other expense is 18,000. Other expense, right? Up to this we have already calculated. Up to 7 we have already calculated. Now we need to calculate net profit. Last one we need to calculate net profit, right? So let's calculate net profit. You can write the formula like this. Now you know the formula for the net profit. I have already explained you. Net profit equal gross profit plus other income minus expenses. Expenses are 4 types, right? Right? Gross profit equals, net profit equals gross profit plus other income minus expenses. Right. So now you can find out the net profit here. Gross profit is, we have already calculated. Gross profit 174,000. Gross profit 174,000 plus other income we have already calculated. Other income. What is the other income? 106,000. 106,000. Then minus expenses. There are 4 types of expenses. Distribution 45, administration 51, financial 22, and other expenses 18. Altogether, total expenses is 136. Right? Total expense is 136,000. So gross profit plus other income minus expenses. Answer for the net profit is we can take the answer 174 plus 106, 280. 280 minus 136, 144,000. 144,000. Right? I'll explain again how to take this 136,000. That is the summation of total expenses. Right? If you need, you can write separately a title as total expenses equals distribution expenses plus administration expenses plus distribution expenses, administration expenses plus other expenses plus financial expenses. These are the summation of all the expenses here. How to take the total of expenses? We can write here distribution expense total is 45,000. 45,000 plus administration expense total is 51,000 plus other expense total is 18,000 plus financial expense total is 22,000. Right? Likewise, we can come up with the answer for the 136,000. 45, 51, 18, 22. Right? Oh, sorry. Financial, mama make dala tine 24 කියලා. It should be 22, right? 18 plus 4, 22,000. Financial expenses 22. Right. Again, I'll go through the fish answer. We have calculated cost of sales, opening stock, purchase, carriage inwards, loading charges. Then summation, we call it as cost of goods to be sold, minus closing stock, cost of sales. Then gross profit equals sales minus cost of sales. Sales is 480,000, cost of sales is 306,000. Gross profit is 174,000. Then other income we have already calculated. Rent income, discount received, dividend income. Summation of these three figures, 106,000. Distribution expenses, total bad debt, depreciation of motor vehicle, discount allowed, summation 45,000. Administration expense, total salaries, rent and rates, only two items, 36 and 15, 51,000. Financial expense, total interest paid and bank charges, 18 plus 4, 22,000, not 24. By mistake, I put 24. It should be 22,000. Interest paid and bank charges, 18 plus 4. Other expenses, only two items, donation and stock loss, 18,000. Then we have to calculate the net profit. Before we calculate net profit, it's better calculate total expenses. Total expenses equals distribution expenses plus administration expenses plus other expenses plus financial expenses, right? So summation of these four figures, 45,000, 51,000, 18,000 and 22,000, 136,000, right? Net profit equals gross profit plus other income minus expenses. So gross profit is 174, other income 106. You have to add that and have to deduct total expenses, that is 136. Answer for the net profit is 144,000, right?